Right, here's kind of a sort of a revisit video on an antique 1950s kitchen exhaust fan. Um, I do kind of have it hilariously mounted right now because I really couldn't think of any other option of mounting it. I mean, there is a kind of hard to be given its brace that it comes with that it mounts into the kitchen, and I was able to salvage this thing prior to where it was installed, and I got a video of it about a month ago in its place and running. Um, that property was being foreclosed on and remodeled, so I was told I can grab a few things out of there, and I did. I got this was probably the most interesting of what I obtained from there. A couple other old light fixtures, nothing too fancy. But it was an original 19 built. The house itself was built in 1953, and which leads me to believe that this was the original exhaust fan that was in the kitchen to that house. So this has to date to possibly early to mid 1950s. Like, there's really no way of telling exactly when, because I have yet to find a date of manufacture on this, and have yet to determine the make of the motor for this fan. There's no labeling anywhere so far as I've seen as I looked it over. I even wiped off a little bit of the surface grease that had been caked up on there over the years. There is a little badging up on top of the motor, which just has the power draw information, and nothing really regarding to any date or make or anything like that. Might be a model number, but we'll look at that here in just a second. All right, a little more up close to the front of the fan. It's got a aluminum, I guess cast aluminum blade, 5-wing blade. Does appear to be out of clock a little bit, as it probably has for a really long time now. I can imagine it might have been taken out and maintained maybe once or twice in its lifetime, and I'm guessing somebody might have bent it when they trying to get the blades off previously. Got some information stamp up here. I can't really read it, so you can go ahead and pause it and read it if you want. It says a number here on the corner of 2000. That might be like a model number. As far as that, there's no markings of any kind of make on this. It's got a very short little cord here. It's pretty stiff from being in there for so long in one spot. Non-polarized. Pretty old plug. The bearings, I imagine the bearings, from the sound of it being where it was at, used in the kitchen and being used for so long without oil, I think the bearings might be toast on this motor. We'll see how it sounds now that I have it dismounted from its original place, and on this ladder here. I got it held on because it was so difficult, like I mentioned, to find something to mount this thing to for a presentation. So I just used a couple machine screws and washers and mounted on here temporarily for show. Windings on it don't look too bad. They're a little, imagine. I am gonna have to take this thing completely apart. This is kind of just a pre-service video. Well, I'm sure these blades are going to be hard to get off of here. Got some information here on the blades. This is regarding of where the blade comes from. Looks like it says Torrington, Connecticut. I guess that's abbreviated for Connecticut, I would imagine. Yeah, the Torrington Manufacturing Company. Shaft is a 1/4-inch size shaft held on by a flathead screw for the shaft nut. Imagine these are going to be give me one hell of a time taking this blade set off. Imagine, hopefully not. But yeah, as you see, I haven't really touched this fan yet. I wanted to do, like I mentioned, a pre-service video, so I just kind of wiped down the surface grease that was on the blade somewhat. Kind of did a half-ass job just to get it somewhat presentable for this video. Fan is a single speed, and I guess we'll go ahead and get it plugged up and ready to fire up. Oh yeah, I almost forgot to mention the fan itself does have, the motor has 2 oil ports. You can see one right there. They're right across from each other on the front and back. Alright, here goes nothing. Here is on. Moving a lot of air. Point 0.8, 61 watts, 0.83 amps, 61, let's say 62 watts. Yeah, this motor could be just too far gone. Hopefully not, but we'll see. I think a lot of it will have to do with the blade, of course, being bent out of clock, and if running for so long that way, it's probably screwed the bearings. But hopefully not. I'll take it apart and see what's the deal. If not, at least I can at least I have a nice cool blade I can swap around. So that's really what I wanted it for. I mean, if the motor can be saved, I will save it. Do one more startup sound here for y'all. Get closer up. Yeah, it doesn't sound too. So, hope y'all enjoyed this initial glance of this 1950s antique kitchen exhaust fan that I was gladly able to salvage. Yeah, if I end up being able to save the motor, I might make it a project, turn it into a window fan or something. It'd be kind of neat. If not, I'll have a cool blade at least to make something else out of. Anyways, appreciate you watching. Have a good one.